Is your website accessible? I'm gonna guess no. And since I just got done leading a webinar, I've been researching for literally months on accessibility. I feel like I have a lot to share with you on this matter. Don't get me wrong, our site wasn't very accessible either, and there's still a lot of work to be done. Our accessibility webinar was created and shared for free, talking about website accessibility, social media accessibility, and general tips. But now it lives in our digital ministry training hub, where we help you maximize your online impact and connect with new people looking for you. We love to help nonprofits and faith leaders share hope and healing and light online. That's why we're here. Subscribe if that's of interest to you. Here are 3 of my favorite must-know accessibility tips for your website. You can implement them today. Let's dive in. First thing you need to know is that when you are creating your website in an accessible way, you are giving your viewers an insight into under the hood of the way it is set up. What does that mean? That means that if I was sharing a piece of information with you in like a Google Doc or a PDF, I might have a title, and then I might have like 3 different sections that we're gonna go through. And under these 3 sections, maybe there's 2 or 3 or 4 different headings. And under each of these headings, I want to hit 1 or 2 points. You can see all of that on a document, but when it comes to your website, that kind of thing is not intuitive if you can't see all of the information clearly. And so maybe when you're scrolling, it's really clear how it's formatted, but you have to actually tell your website builder how it will display this information to people using screen readers, people who need to hear the different outline, the different order, the different layers of your website, which might not be set up properly behind the scenes. So make sure you check under the hood. We talk about this more in our webinar video, which is now living in the hub, hub.digivangelism.org, if you're interested in that. Tip number 2 might help you a little bit with tip number 1, and that is that you can test your website accessibility yourself. There are some free resources that we will link below that you can use to actually check your site, to audit your site, and see where you can be more accessible. But for now, an easy way to click through this is to use the tab button and see what your website is already set up to highlight with the tab button. As you click through using tab, you can see the different, it's called focus states. Different items are focused on, right? This is a good way to test what screen readers are going to see as clickable spaces. You can see if this is going in the proper order that you want, and see what you really need to go under the hood to maybe fix up. Maybe it's not even highlighting something that you really want it to make sure to highlight. And so tab is great. You can also resize the font size of your website, and so resizing the font, seeing if it adjusts properly, and if not, it might be worth playing with the formatting of your site in general, just to make sure that when people resize the font, it is actually accessible for them. It doesn't all just like overlap on each other or make it horrible to read or impossible to read. So consider both testing your website and checking under the hood to make sure that everything is laid out. Your headings are laid out in the proper order so that someone using a screen reader will be able to access your content easily and in the proper order that you would like. Tip number 3, last but not least, maybe my favorite, is that you can't just use placeholder text in a form field. So if you look at this form, this is our digital communications review form. We will review your website, we will review your social media, we will review your emails. We are here to review your communications, your digital communications content, so that you can make it more effective. We'll pull it apart. We'll look at every single page, every single profile. This is a great example of what we are asking you not to do, because the placeholder text is the only text that says what each box is. So a screen reader is going to tab through and actually only see the different boxes. It might not be able to read. It probably won't be able to read what is in those boxes. Instead, what we really should do is have the name, email, and phone number, all these different text pieces, elements above or next to those boxes, so that a screen reader can read the word name, and then you can fill in your name in the related box. So this is not accessible. So obviously this is something we need to work on with our site. There's a lot we need to work on with our site. I'm sure you will find things you need to work on. Actually, there are some audit tools you can use. We will include that on the free resource guide linked below. You can download that, or you can watch the entire accessibility webinar, of which we link below. It is located in our hub. You can jump in there for a month-long membership. You can jump in annually. It doesn't matter. Either way, we are here to answer your questions. So once you're in the hub, feel free to submit any digital communications questions. We will create a video in response or email you directly a personalized response, and this is our way of helping you to maximize your online impact and spread that hope, healing, and light online. Now go out and make some accessible content. There's so much to learn, so much to see. Honestly, you really need the full webinar to get even your toe relatively wet, but hey, wherever you want to start, we're here for you.